had to see where my son had died. My sons, other sons who were alive, did not want me to go, but that's something that I had to do. I had to see it by myself. I boarded along with other family members. There were about 7 buses of us who drove to the site. As the buses were nearing the site, all of us began to cry. That counselors and therapy dogs to help us, console us. We got out of the bus, and there was a fence. We came within 150 yards of that burned out shell. 150 yards. And I could see. Burned out dust, dangling pictures on the walls. Actually being there, seeing the horror myself. It's not anything you couldn't see on a TV, but just being there at the site was devastating to me. I stood there imagining what Dwayne and the others that had been in that building went through, the horror, the agony. But that affected me very much. I returned home, and I went back to Washington again. Sat through several briefings waiting for them to call Dwayne's name to let me know that his body was being released. You cannot imagine waiting 10 days to find out that your child is dead, and waiting another 21 days before the body is released for burial. Dwayne's wishes were to be buried in Arlington National Cemetery, and that's where we buried him. Returned home, and I just tried to return to work, but I could not concentrate and focus, so I retired. And a co-worker of mine recommended a grief counselor for me and a psychiatrist, where I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I had to go into the hospital several times for depression because I could not cope with the things that had happened to me. They were overwhelming. And I went through the dark path seasons of many depressions until I finally came to myself, and I decided that I wanted to go down another road. I wanted to start to live again. I remember lying in the hospital bed and talking to my psychiatrist. He came in, and I told him that, I want to have a better life. I want a new life. And he said, that's exactly what I have been trying to tell you. He said, I can prescribe all of the medicine in the world, but you yourself have to want to change. And I began to feel a little better. But then compulsive behavior began, in which I would go shopping to make myself feel better. The feelings left, but they came back. And finally, my grief counselor really helped me get rid of my compulsive shopping. And she actually sat down and did budgets for me. And I remember purchasing something once, and I had the list. If I bought a piece of gum, I had to write it down. And I remember her asking me about something that I had purchased. And I said, well, it was only 95% discount. And she said, "Did you pay for it with a credit card?" And I said, "Yes." She said, "That did not cost you 95%." It was really, really amazing the way she did that. But she did help me tremendously. And then I decided that I wanted to sow into the lives of other people. And I think that is what brought me healing. First of all, I got a monument bill for my son. The people in the community helped me raise funds, and I had a place where I could go for solace and relaxation and just to meditate. And that was built and erected. And then I wrote a book, a children's book, about my son Dwayne, entitled A Hero Called Fish. Dwayne was an excellent swimmer, and he learned to swim at the age of 5. And his children in the neighborhood affectionately called him Fish, and a name which followed him even when he became a major. He would come home, they'd still call him Fish. He's such a lovable person, and just strive for excellence in everything he did. A hard worker, a wonderful role model for others. And I just wanted children to know about this hero. So I entitled it A Hero Called Fish. And I began to go into elementary schools and read that book to elementary kids. And it was about 9/11, the experiences I had, the agony that I'd gone through. And most of them were young. So I made them, sort of educated them on, 9/11, the events. And after that, I decided that I would establish a Major Dwayne Williams Citizenship Award at the school. And to help the children want to live productive lives and to be like Dwayne. And it really helped me to begin to sow into the lives of other people. And later on, I established the Major Dwayne Williams Scholarship at a university in my town. And I coordinated a golf tournament, Major Dwayne Williams Golf Tournament, to raise funds for the scholarships. And I think these were healing mechanisms for me, because I became a stronger person, I think, a better person, just knowing that I was making a difference in the lives of other people. And if there is anyone out there listening, I think that's the thing. You get your mind off yourself when you begin to reach out and help others. And that's what it's all about, making a difference in the lives of other people. From that, I established a Narcotics Anonymous support group to help alcoholics and drug addicts. And I still serve as the facilitator of that group. And I always tell them, like me, they have to find a new way of living. You have to decide within yourselves that you want to change. You want to change your life. That you don't want to go down that same old street and fall in the same old hole knowing that it's there. You go down another street. And that's what I tell them all the time. And it helps them recover. I do the best I can. There are some who do not. Their in and out is a revolving door. But I try to help as much as I can.
Miss Williams, just listening to your story, I find so much strength within my own self that if you, a mother, can find the strength within yourself, if you, as a mother, can find the strength within yourself, that inspires me. That inspires me so much. It inspires me so much.
When I look at my son's life, I wrote an epitaph, and I didn't bring it. I was going to bring it and read it. And when I talked about, they mentioned all of the awards, all of the achievements that he received when he was alive.
Mm-hmm.
And, the Purple Heart, the Legion of Merit, the Bronze Star, and all those really don't matter. It's you, the person, the difference that you make in the lives of other people. And he made a difference. And he had a light. He let his light shine. And right now I want my life to be like his life. I want my light to shine, and so that others can see God in me, Christ in me. And I always think about a thing that I wrote. I said to the ending of his epitaph is, we do not mourn your passing, but we stand in the light that you created. All of us can create a light. We light our candles, all of us, in the corner of the world where we are. We too can make a difference. And I was inspired that by, there are many songs about light your candle, what the world needs. Yeah.
This little light of
I was
mine.
inspired by those
Yes.
songs to write that epitaph. But anyway, I look at his life, the way he lived, and it just inspires me, to make the world a better place and to sow into the lives of other people, because making a difference is what it's all about. And I've tried to use my sorrow as a healing balm for the people and pull them up, because I've been there. I know what it's like. We have a lot of support groups. I didn't get here on my own, get to this stage in my life on my own. The federal government has several organizations which I think help people like me heal. And some of them you may not be aware of, some of you are. One of the organizations is TAPS, Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors. They have regional workshops around the country. They were here in Alabama back in April. And they have counselors that they bring in to help us cope, with our loss. We have regional, they have a national workshop in Washington, D.C. each year, in which people from all over the country come for healing. They come for support. And that's the thing with other people who have gone through or going through what you have been through. And they understand where you are. And they won't be judgmental of you and say, why don't you move on, And why doesn't she get over it? I've had that said. And they just didn't know or understand, what I'd gone through. And I mean, if you have waited 10 days for your child to hear whether or not your child was dead, and then another 3 weeks or more before you can bury him, it's just, I went through a great deal. And to be around other people who understood me and where I was coming from really made a difference. Now, like I told you, we have a group here in Alabama. We have several groups throughout the United States. We have Gold Star mothers who have sons and daughters who have been killed. We have Gold Star wives who have, husbands or wives killed. We have Gold Star families, the same thing. And we get together, we meet. The organization here provides the Army has a program which provides assistance counseling for those who are going through grief.